Good morning, students. I am K. Uma Mageshwari, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of Commerce. Now, let us see the subject Business Organization. In that, we are going to see meaning and definition of business, characteristics of business, and scope of business. First, let us see the meaning of business. What does the term mean by business? It means busyness, that is, the state of being busy, or otherwise, any activity in which one keeps himself busy. But in economic term of business, it refers to work, efforts, and acts of people or human busy in connection with production of wealth. Generally, business is the sum of total activities which are connected with the production or purchase and sale of goods and services with the main aim to earn profit. Next, let us see definition of business. According to Arick and Hunt, it means any enterprise which makes, distributes, or provides any service which other members of the community need and are willing to pay for it. Next, characteristics features of business. First one, production or acquisition of goods. Any business, whether it may be small or large, it deals with only goods and services. That goods must be produced or manufactured or procured. Next one, profit. This is the main aim of the business. That is, basic motive of every business is to make a profit only. It is the motivation factor behind a business one carries on, as well as its stimulus and a guarantee to continue the business. It is also the one of the factor which ensures the survival of the business. Next, it is a reward of all those individuals engaged in a particular business. Next, characteristics, risk and uncertainty of business. Almost every business involves risk and uncertainty while carrying on its operations because future is uncertain and business activity focus only on future. Next one, dealings in goods and services. Business also always deals with only goods and services with a view to supply to those who need them and are ready to make payment for the same. There are two types of goods, namely consumer goods and producer goods. The examples for consumer goods are cloth, books, electronic appliances, medicine, and so on. Likewise, for producer goods, machinery, tools, etc. And for services, example, courier, transport, and so on. Next one, regular dealings. One of the most important characteristics of business is regularity and recurrences. Business does not constitute with a single operation. It should be regular and continuous entity. For example, selling furniture for household purpose is not a business. But when we procure a furniture and keep as a stock and sells them to the consumer is termed as a business. Next one, scope of business. The scope of business is wider than that of term trade and commerce. Always, the term trade and commerce are often used synonymously. Trade is one of the branches of commerce and it is concerned with exchange of goods and services. On the other hand, commerce is a wider term. It includes trade as well as aid to trade. The meaning of aid to trade is the various activities which facilitate trade or helps trade. The scope of business is classified into two types, namely industry and trade and commerce. Now let us see the industry. What does the term mean by industry? It is a part of business activity which is apprehensive with the extraction, production, or fabrication of products. Every industry always deals with goods only. So the goods are classified into so many types. Now let us see consumer goods. If the goods produced by an industry are consumed by the final customers are termed as consumer goods. For example, clothes. Next, capital goods. If the goods are used for further production of wealth, is termed as capital goods. Next, in case the goods produced by an industry and are further processed into finished goods by another concern are said to be intermediate goods. Example, plastic. Next, let us see type of industries. There are 5 types of industries, namely extractive, genetic, constructive, manufacturing, and service. First, let us see extractive industries. This industry extract, rise, or fabricate raw materials from above or beneath surface of the earth. For example, mining, fisheries, and so on. Next, genetic industries. These industries are engaged in reproducing and multiplying certain species of animals and plants and selling them in the market for profit are termed as genetic industries. Example, cattle breeding, poultry farms, plant nurseries, and so on. Next one, constructive industries. In the name itself, we know that it is engaged in construction of building, canals, bridges, dams, and roads. Next one, manufacturing industries. These industries are converting raw material or semi-finished goods into finished products. For example, shoes company, textile mills, and so on. Next, service industries. These industries always engaged in manufacturing of intangible goods which cannot be seen or touched by the naked eye. For example, services of doctors, lawyers, and so on. Next, trade and its types. What is the term meant by trade? It is the process of buying and selling of goods, or otherwise, it is the exchange of goods and services among buyers and sellers in which both the parties are benefited. Trade are classified into 2 types, namely internal trade and external trade. Now we see internal trade. The process of buying and selling of goods within the edge of the country is set as internal trade. Internal trade are also classified into 2 types, namely wholesale trade and retail trade. The term wholesale trade means the process of purchase of goods in huge quantity from producer and they resell to retailers. The retailer then further sells these goods to final consumer. This term is wholesale trade. Next, retail trade. The retailer sell the goods and services to the ultimate consumer is known as retail trade. Next one, external trade. The purchase and sale of goods between 2 countries are termed as external trade. It is also otherwise said to be foreign trade. It also classified into 2 types, namely import trade and export trade. Import trade means between countries, the trade between countries. Export trade means the trade outside countries. Next one, aids to trade. The activity which help in the purchase of goods and services are called aids to trade. The aids are first one, transport. The different way of transport helps in carrying goods from the places of production to centers of utilization. For example, railways, roadways, airways, and etc. Next, insurance. It is a very essential aid to trade because the risk of damage of goods due to fire, flood, earthquake, or other causes covered by insurance only. Next one, warehousing. Nowadays, most of the goods are produced in anticipation of demand only. They must be stored in safe places and are released as when demanded in the market. Thus, it helps in overcoming the barriers of time and creates time utility. Next one, banking. The commercial banks plays a vital role in financing different trade activities. They also support the buyers and sellers of goods in receiving and making payments both at the national as well as international level. Next one, advertisement. Selling of goods is the most difficult problem for the producer. So, advertisement through newspapers, magazine, radio and television has greatly helped the customers in choosing the goods of their taste. So it plays an important role to increase the sales. The above aids which are compulsory for the development of trade. Thank you.